Peace and blessings, everyone. My name is Shannon Trinity, and this is Divine Alignment. Divine Alignment is a platform where I guide you to discover your passion, your purpose, and the truth of who you are. The reason why I've started this platform is because at one point I was having so much job dissatisfaction. It didn't matter what job I took, I'd be good at first, but after a while I'd be unfulfilled. And I realized in my 36th year, I can't keep going this path. I must find the thing that I love to do so that way I can wake up and love life, because I was having a hard time getting up in the morning to go to work and doing work that I'm not passionate about, do work that I don't really have abundance of ideas for. And so I wanted to end that cycle. To end that cycle, I had to go within and learn who I am and learn the truth of who I am, get to my authenticity so I can live an authentic life. Passion equals authenticity. When you follow things that you're passionate about, you live in your authenticity, which is your divinity. So I created Divine Alignment because as I was on this journey of self-discovery, I kept hearing the voice in my mind saying, focus on divine alignment. I was like, okay, align with my divinity, because I felt as though there was this higher power, this voice, this future self, this future version of myself that is existing in the spiritual and mental plane. And so I was like, how do I become her? How do I bring her into my present, my reality? And how do I bring it into this three-dimensional planet? How do we bring her into this physical existence, this physical plane? And so I heard her tell me, she said, passion, start with your passion. And so that's what I started to do. So the first thing I did is I picked up a book to read about passion so I can identify it in my life, so I can take this journey towards discovering the truth of who I am, so I can live in my authenticity and align with my divinity, so I can be the best and highest version of myself. And I did so over the past year, and I was very consistent in educating myself to the point where I am now showing up in this way. So we're going to start with passion today. So let's get into it. What is passion? Passion is a strong emotional connection for an interest. Passion is a strong emotional connection for an interest. Okay? This is a love. This is a love for an interest. The love. It's not a like. No, hold on. It's not a like. This is a love for an interest. If you want to compare it to a relationship, you wouldn't do the same things you would do to somebody that you like over someone you love. You wouldn't. You wouldn't do the same things. When you love something, you're willing to commit and sacrifice. This is like a marriage. You ever hear somebody say, I'm married to the game? Your passion is a love or an interest. It's like you marry it. This is a commitment. You're willing to sacrifice for this. Passion is a strong emotional connection for an interest. Why start with passion? Why? Why start with passion? Because passion is love. Passion gets you to your purpose. Passion is the beacon, is that guiding factor. Where should I walk? If I want to go down this path of authenticity, where do I go? You follow the pathway of love. Passion is the pathway of love. God created you with love, in love, and out of love. So it is going to be the path of love that is going to connect you to your higher power. That is going to connect you to your best and possible outcome of yourself. The best version of yourself. The best possible outcome that you can possibly be would be God. Would be God body. And the pathway to get to that, to connect with that, is to follow your passion, the pathway of love. Because that is where your higher power, that is where God is. God is in the love. And the first thing that you can do to get on that path is follow your heart. Follow your passion. What is the thing that you love to do? So let's identify. How can we identify passion in our lives? Because there's a lot of us that are doing things that we do not like. We are doing things because we are indoctrinated into a system that has told us to go to school, get a degree, and then do a job, work for somebody else until you're 65, and then you retire. So pretty much until you die, you work for somebody else. So that way they can pursue their passion. But the masses are not pursuing their passion. They're walking down this path of artificiality, superficialness. They're walking down a very superficial path, and they never figure out how to go within so that way they can fulfill their purpose. Because that is why we are feeling unfulfilled. It's because we are not doing the thing that God has called us to do. So how do we get back to doing the thing that God has called us to do? Well, we have to go and find God. We have to find the God within. How do you find the God within? Is you follow the pathway of love, because God made you in love, with love, and out of love. So you must vibrate on that highest frequency, because love is the highest vibrational frequency that connects all dimensions. And God is there at that highest level, waiting for you, your God within you. So how do you identify passion? Okay, so the first identifier of passion, first I want to say there are 4 identifiers of passion. There are 4 identifiers. The first identifier to identify if your interest is a passion, the first identifier is flow state. Flow state is a state of being. This is a state of being. You are you are it. This is a state of being where you have an abundance of ideas. You enter into an abundance of ideas. It's like you have been connected to a portal. Flow state is a portal. It's like you are tapped into a portal of ideas, where the ideas are just flowing in and flooding in. You end up losing track of time. You become hyper focused. Going back to the ideas, you ever be at work at a job and you're in a meeting and there's some challenges that needs to be resolved, and everyone's giving their ideas, and when they get to you, you've got nothing? It's not that there's something wrong with you or like you're slow or anything. It just means that what you're doing is you're not passionate about. You're not passionate about what you're doing. That's why the ideas don't flood in. It's not that you don't have the ability to think of ideas. It's just that whatever it is that you're focusing on, you're not passionate about. That's why you don't have ideas, and that's why you're constantly clocking the time, looking at when is it time to go. That's why you're constantly clocking the time. When you are operating and doing what you love, the abundance of ideas come in. You lose track of time. Beyonce talks about this all the time. What does she do when she's operating in her flow? She forgets to eat. She forget to eat. You over here clocking when's lunch? Dang, when is lunch? When's lunch coming? That's because what you are doing, you are not passionate about. This is not your passion. That's why you are living unfulfilled. That's why you're having poor mental health. That's why you're unsatisfied. That's why you're making all this money, but you're still not happy because you are not operating in what God has called you to do. You are not operating in your best and highest self. Flow state is a portal. And it's a portal that connects you to your higher self. Because your highest self, your future self, is already doing what it loves. Because if you can do anything in the world, wouldn't you do what you love to do? Right? So your highest and best self is already doing that. So that's why flow state is a portal. Flow state is a portal to your higher self. So that's why time collapses. Time shrinks down. You lose track of time. That's why you're able to hyper focus, is because the visions are coming so quick. The ideas are coming so quick because your highest and best self is already doing it. So that's why the visions and everything is just, and you're manifesting so quick because there's a version of yourself that's already done it. It's already done it. So if you don't enter into this state of being, flow state, more than likely that is not your passion. The next identifier, and I would love for you guys to take notes because and leave them in the comments. Please take notes and leave them in the comments. I would love to see your beautiful notes and your interpretations of this wisdom. I would love to know about your interpretations of what you're getting here, and if you guys can relate to this. So the second identifier of passion is the desire to create. You have a desire to create. There's something that you want to, it's like your creative energy is awakening. And you're like, you know what? I want to make this. I felt that way when I created my first product. You want to create things like products. My first product that I created was a passion discovery workbook that with AI, ChatGPT, you can get a deeper understanding of your passion and who you are and who you're meant to be based on an assessment and a series of assessments. It's like you get decoded and you use AI to help you get a deeper understanding of who you are. So you want to create products. I'm now creating these veils because I want to represent knowledge of self. I want to represent my higher power, my God. I want to represent my divinity. And I think when I see my higher power, when I see Trinity, when I see her wearing a crown, representing royalty. So you have a desire to create products. You have a desire to serve. You want to create services for others. You have a desire to innovate. You You're thinking of ideas. Ideas are flooding in, and you're becoming innovative, because God made us in his image, and God is a creator. So naturally you want to also create. God created us, and we are a product of that. We are a product of our creator. So naturally you would want to create. If you don't got ideas of wanting to create something, offer a service, or innovate, make something better, then 9 times out of 10, what you're doing is not your passion. Even if it's an environment, maybe I don't want to create products or services, or maybe I just want to create an environment. But you want to create something, and that something is going to be attached to love. It's going to be good. It's for the betterment of the collective. So the third identifier is the desire to share. You want to give. You become a giver. The products and services you want to create, you don't want to create them just for yourself. You want to share them with the world. You want to share that. There is a universal law that will back you up with this, because there's a lot of us that, feel like, oh, I have this idea, I have this product or service, and I want to offer it to the world, but I don't know if people gonna like it. I don't think they're gonna like that. Or somebody's already doing it, or it's not enough, it's not good enough, it's not ready. We have these ideas in our minds that we want to share and create, but we are held back by our ways of thinking. To overcome that way of thinking, there is a divine law, a universal law that supports the desire to create and the desire to share. And that is called the law of, let me get something a bit darker. The law of reciprocity. The law of reciprocity. This is a divine law that backs you up. So that way you can have that courage to move forward, to create and share what your ideas, your products. The law of reciprocity states, for example, just as much as you are desiring to share your message, there are people out there that are desiring to hear a message uniquely from you. They are desiring to hear a message that's coming from you. You ever like in your heart be like, dang, I wish there was like a song that sound this way, or I wish there was a podcast that talked about these types of things or certain things. Just as much as you are desiring those podcasts and those songs, there are people that have those songs and those podcasts within them. We are a collective. God is within everyone. God is one big consciousness, and we are fractal projections of that main consciousness, 8 billion of us. And collectively, God is in every one of us. And as a collective, he's like, we wish for a podcast. We wish for a Trinity, someone to come and speak the truth and to explain passion and the science behind passion. Because that's what this is, the science behind passion. We want that. I want somebody so that way I can get a deeper understanding of what passion is, so I can live that out, because I want to live a life of love. I want to connect to my higher power. I need somebody that's going to help show me, guide me. I wish there was somebody out there that can guide me to my higher power. And what God does is raises somebody up to fulfill that order, to fulfill that, and that becomes your purpose. And so the universal law of reciprocity supports you on that. So the reason why you have that that idea to create is because there are people that want it. That's why you want to share. You have a desire to share it. So share that thing. What this is, okay? I want you to look at it like this. The law of reciprocity is like this. God is in everyone. God feels everyone together. Like you could feel all your toes. Even though your toes is connected to a body, you can still feel every single individual toe. Even though my fingers are connected to my whole body, I can still separately feel every single finger. And if I hurt one finger, I know it's my thumb. If I hurt one finger, it's like my whole body is God, but I know this is Trinity. I know this is Tamara. I know this is Angelica. I know this is different people. And we are all part of one whole body of God. And so God is in every one of us. And so when you have this desire to create something, it is because the collective is desiring that, is needing that. So God fills you with these orders. And your purpose, your job is to fulfill the order of the collective. This is a universal law of fulfillment. This is a universal law of fulfillment because as you are sharing your message, okay, people are receiving that message. They're getting fed. They are getting filled. They are getting full. Okay. And then what they do is they reciprocate that back to you with their beautiful comments, their testimonies, their encouragement, their support. They feed you. You get fed. You get full. You get filled. This is a universal law of fulfillment, fulfilling the order of the collective. I am fulfilling an order. You guys ordered me up. Okay? The collective is like, think about a manufacturer like Amazon. You put in your order and then the manufacturer Amazon fulfills that order and ships it to the collective. You are the collective and you guys ordered me up and I am fulfilling my order. I'm fulfilling what God has called me to be and I am doing my purpose. This is why you must follow your passion. It's because it leads you to your purpose. And these are the identifiers. These are the identifiers. This is the law of reciprocity. This is a divine law. This is divine backing. So if you have a desire to create and share, do it. Because there's people that want to hear it from you. And it's selfish for you to go your whole life and die and never fulfill your order. That's why there's so many of us are mentally ill. We're mentally sick. It's because we know that there is this thing that is calling us. There's this greatness in us, but we don't know how to self-actualize it. And there is somebody else that is driving in the front seat of the car and you're in the back seat and you want to drive that front seat. You want to get in and control your life, but you can't. Somebody else is in that seat. That other person that is in your seat is the societal version of you. Because society has put all these titles on you and made you materialistically put your value in material possessions and has put you on a track to go and work for somebody else, go to school, work for somebody else, and then you never know who you are or how your mind works because they don't want you to know that. Because if you knew the truth of who you are, you knew the science behind passion and purpose, then you would not go and work for somebody else. You do for self. And you become free and unplugged from the matrix. That is a societal version of yourself. It is not your true self. And there's a cognitive dissonance. So to get back to that, there's a frustration within you because you know you should be on a different path, but you don't know how. And then you're frustrated. And that creates a cognitive dissonance. And that is the root of your mental health problems, is that you are not fulfilling your order. You are not doing the thing that God has ordered and called you to do. And that is what divine alignment is to align with your divinity so you can do the thing that God has called you to do. You can fulfill your purpose, fulfill your order. Fulfill your order. Okay? We need it. And the fourth identifier is sacrifice. This is that commitment. This is a sacrifice. Do you have the willingness to sacrifice and commit to this, to becoming an expert? Because the moment you go after your desire, you go after your passion, it's like, yeah, I want my purpose. I want to fulfill my order. You're going to come face to face with difficulties. And the difficulties are going to look like things like you're going to have to learn something new, learn new things. You're going to take online classes. If you guys are taking notes, please put them in the comments for others. This will help others. Because I may be getting pretty small here. Matter of fact, let me erase some of this. Fourth identifier is sacrifice. Make this a bit bigger, which is that willingness to commit. And the moment you go after and start this path of love, of purpose, you're going to come face to face with difficulties. And those things look like learning something new, you may have to take some online classes. You're going to have to get a mentor or some coaching. And you may have to sacrifice some entertainment. I mean, there's all kinds of things in Columbus, Ohio that is fun in the summertime. You got Summer 614, you got the Rib Fest, you got the Jazz Fest, you got Black Tie events, you got First Fridays, Colors of Summer. We got all these fun things. We got food festivals. There's so much fun in Columbus. And I said, you know what? If I sacrifice, if I sacrifice and commit to my passion, I end up with my purpose. And I'm willing to sacrifice some entertainment in order to become the highest and best version of myself. Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to invest in yourself? I recently invested in a trip to go on a hike with 19 Keys, high level, and a networking event with Mr. 19 Keys, because I invested in energy. My main thing was to get around his energy, because if I get around high level energy, it will affect me. When I came across Mr. 19 Keys' content, what he was saying was changing me so much that I started to take on and adopt what he was doing. So I ended up taking the path towards the Nation of Islam. I ended up finding who I am, getting my mission, getting my purpose. And so I was like, I want to be around him physically so I can get that energy. Because if I can see, I was mainly just observing him, and I saw how he moved and what he was doing. And I saw he was constantly creating content in between doing, these events. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting a sense of what high level looks like. And then observing his crew and what they do and their jobs, I was like, okay, this is what high level operates like. So I was like, let me invest in myself so I can see it, be around it. I know what it feels like. Okay, boom, now I can take this on. Are you willing to invest in yourself? Are you willing to sacrifice? This is big. The old you. Are you willing to sacrifice an older version of yourself? older version of yourself that is that is inconsistent. That is inconsistent. Are you willing to sacrifice an older version of yourself that deals with perfectionism? Thinking things got to be a certain way before you present and show your truth and speak your piece. Are you willing to sacrifice the old version of who you are? Because you're going to have to sacrifice these things in order to fulfill your order, in order to fulfill your purpose. You're going to have to sacrifice. If you don't enter into flow state and you don't get those abundance of ideas and you lose track of time collapses because you've entered into a portal. If you don't have the desire to create, desire to share, and the willingness to sacrifice, it is not your passion. You are not going down the right path. This is your call to action. Is to stop and assess your life. Assess your heart. This is a heart matter. This is a matter of the heart. We're dealing with love. Love is the highest vibrational frequency that connects all dimensions. And so when you go down the pathway of love, that is where your God is. So this is passion. Passion is a strong emotional connection or an interest. It is your beacon. It is your guiding beacon. It's the path that you should take. It's the pathway of love, because that is where God is waiting within you. God is an impersonal energy that exists within everyone, that is at its highest vibrational frequency, and it's in you, and it's the highest version of yourself, and it's screaming to get out and experience itself. And to connect with your higher power, you have to follow the pathway of love, because that is what God made you. I'm repeating myself because repetitiveness is what gets it in your mind. So I'm repeating myself. You may find this repetitive because the more I keep saying it, the more you adopt the mindset. The more you take my mind and it goes into your mind. The more my God fills your God, and we speak and flow with each other's God. I'm creating the world that I want because I am a God. I am letting the God within me that's operating on its highest frequency, I'm letting that vibrate. I'm letting that shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This God energy, this frequency, this Trinity. So passion puts you on the pathway of love. And to identify that in your life, it's flow state, the desire to create, the desire to share, and the willingness to sacrifice. So that is passion, and that is how you identify it into your life. If this was helpful, y'all, let me know in the comments. I would love to know if you were on your passion. I would love to know if you experienced any of these identifiers in your life and in your interests. In the next video, we're going to go over how passion leads you to your purpose. So I hope everyone enjoyed. Until next time, peace and blessings. And remember, God is beautiful.